Hi guys, welcome to lesson 4, and we are going to talk about adding and subtracting rational expressions like we did in lesson 3. But today we're going to focus on fractions that do not have like denominators. So let's just kind of review. In lesson 3 we did problems like this where you could simply just like add across and combine like terms, and it was pretty easy. But today's lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on these types of problems where you had to find the common denominator. So if you'll remember, yesterday we had these fractions. So the common denominator is 15. So 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by 15. So I have 12 over 15 on top, and or 12 on top and then 15 on bottom. And then here, 3 to 15, I'm going to multiply both the top and bottom by 5. So 12 plus 35, that is 47 over 15. Over here, notice that we just had to bump this one up because our common denominator was 18. So I didn't need to do anything with this whole fraction. So 3 times 18, or I'm sorry, 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by 6, and I get 12 minus 11 is 1 over 18. So let's go and kind of talk about LCD. So remember, the LCD of this was 15, the LCD of this was 18. So let's look at this. So the least common denominator, if we had these 3 fractions in a denominator, what is something that all 3 of these will go into? And we want the smallest number that all 3 of these will go into. So I always start with the biggest number and see, like, will 5 go into 20? Yes, but 8 won't go into 20. So then I'll take 20 times 2, which is 40. Does 5 go into 40? Yes. Does 8 go into 40? Yes. So then 40 would be our LCD. Notice over here, so I'm going to take this in 2 pieces. So the number, so I'm going to start with the bigger number. So 15, 10 does not go into 15. But 15 times 2 is 30. 10 goes into 30. So 30 is a number for my LCD. And then I'm going to take the biggest. So we talked in factoring where when you factor something out, you're going to take the variable with the smallest exponent. Now we're going to take the variable with the biggest exponent. And each variable needs to be counted for. So I have just one of the x squared, so I'm going to account for that. And I have a y to the first and a y squared. So before I would take a y to the first out, but now I'm going to take a y squared out. So these down here, this is another case where we're going to have to factor first. So we have 2x minus 3. And then I can factor out an x for this one. And then I end up with 2x minus 3. So my LCD, remember, everything needs to be accounted for. So I have a 2, I have an x, and then I have a 2x minus 3. So that is going to be my least common denominator. So this one, let's go ahead and factor. So x and then x minus 4. This one is going to be x minus 4, x plus 4. And then this one is going to be x plus 4, x plus 2. Okay, so let's see. I need to account for that x. I have an x minus 4 showing up, so that takes care of all of that. I have an x plus 4 that I need to include. And I also have an x plus 2. So this whole thing would be my least common denominator. Okay, so when you are adding or subtracting with unlike denominators, the first thing you're going to do is factor, just like what we did here and here. That's the first thing that we need to do. And then we need to find the LCD, just like we did. And then we are going to build it up so that the numerator is going to give us the denominator that we need. So that fraction makes sense. And then we're going to combine like terms, just like we did in the last lesson, and then simplify if possible. So let's go here. So the first thing, can I factor it? No, I can't. So I'm going to find the LCD. So what is the LCD of ab squared and a squared b. So remember, we're going to grab the variable with the biggest exponent. So it's going to look like that. Okay, so just like we did up here, we are going to ask ourselves what we're missing. So like this 5 times 3 was missing the 3 to get to the common denominator. So I have an ab squared and I need to get to a squared b squared. So what am I missing? So if you said you're missing an a, that is correct. So I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by a. And so that's going to give me a squared b squared on bottom. And in the numerator, it's going to give me 3a. So over here, if you'll notice, I'm missing a b. And so that'll give me the denominator that I want on bottom. And on top, I'm going to have 3a plus 5b. So this is my final answer. For this one, even though they look similar, don't get confused with the common denominator. We need both pieces of that. So that's my least common denominator. See if you can figure out what to multiply to the 1 and the 5. Okay, so to get to from here to here, we are missing an x plus y. And to get from here to here, we're missing an x minus y. So I'm going to distribute that 1 and get x plus y, and distribute the 5 and get 5x minus 5y. And then I'm going to simplify. So just combine like terms. So 6x minus 4y over x minus y, x plus y. Some people have noticed that like you can factor out a 2 here. You can, you don't have to. If you want to have like 2 and then 3x minus 2y. Sometimes that will help you simplify a little bit further, but obviously in this case it doesn't help you. So this or this is perfectly fine for an answer. Okay, so let's look at this one. And the first thing I want you to do is figure out what your LCD is. Okay, so your LCD should be x minus 4 times x plus 4. So notice that we are already good to go here. So I'm just going to drop that 15x because I don't need to do anything to it. But this one is missing an x plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and just distribute that 12 right now because of this minus sign. So remember, when you have a minus sign, you have to distribute it. So it's going to become negative 12x minus 48. And now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have negative 15x minus 12x is negative 27x minus 48 over my denominator. And I am done. So this one is bad. This is the first one that we are going to have to factor. So go ahead and factor those two pieces and see what you get. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you factored correctly. So this is what you should have gotten for both of them. And so now figure out your LCD. Okay, so this is what you should have gotten for your LCD. And so I'm going to ask myself, what is missing from here to here? And I'm missing an x plus 3. And then what is missing from here to here? I'm missing an x plus 2. So go ahead and take it from there. Okay, notice that this was 6x plus 12, and so because it was subtraction, it's negative 6x minus 12. So when I combine like terms, I have negative x plus 3 over my denominator. Like that. Okay, we have one more, and it has 3 pieces to it, and that's okay, or 3 fractions to it. So I want you to find the LCD accounting for everything. Okay, so this one was pretty easy to find the LCD. There's nothing weird about it. So you're going to ask yourself, what is this missing? What is this one missing? And what is this one missing to get to this LCD? So see if you can figure out what we need to multiply each of the numerators by. Okay, so this is what you should have multiplied everything by, so you're going to take this and multiply these all together. Then you're going to take this and multiply these all together. And finally, this one and multiply them all together. Notice, be super careful before you combine like terms that that is a minus and that is a plus. So go ahead and see what you can do there. Okay, guys, so I showed my work. So my colors match the color over here. So hopefully you can see what I did. Notice on this one, I was subtracting. So this is a minus and a plus in the equation or in the expression. And so now I'm just going to combine like terms. So I have 2x squared minus 3x squared plus 5x squared. So that's a 4x squared. And then I have 6x plus 10x, and then minus 8. And then on the bottom, I have that. And that's it, guys.